Chapter 4605. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Those who are strong in the realm of the world, in the past, in the 10,000 realms, and even in places outside the realm, were high and invincible existences. Now, when faced with Duan Lingshan's slashing sword, his expression changed instantly. Boom! The light on his body soared, his blood was soaring, and he shot with all his strength, intending to block the sword. At the same time, he secretly scolded the suzerain of Qinghong Shengzong in his heart, and told the other party Lei Hong what to do with the threat. Isn't this slapping the other party's face in front of everyone? Couldn't you be more cryptic and use a better tone to tell the other party about this? In his opinion, the reason why Duan Lingtian directly targeted him was because Duan Lingtian was too young, at least very young compared to them old guys. Still in the young and vigorous stage. Of course, he also felt that this paragraph of Ling Tian was a bit too much and arrogant. If he dared to kill him, wouldn't he be afraid that Lei Hong would go around the God realm and kill him in the future? As the existence of the 7th level Xian, he didn't think that Lei Hong would carry out a sneak attack on the God-defying realm. How could Ling Tian get Lei Hong during this period? Boom! There was a loud bang, and as the Qinghong Saint Sect's respectable powerhouse made an all-out attack to resist Duan Lingshan's slashed sword, the aftermath of terrifying power raged around. A group of semi-saints of the Qinghong sect, after being affected by the aftermath of the power, their faces changed drastically, and they retreated to a distance in a hurry. As for the existences whose cultivation bases were not half holy, they were all thrown out, their faces pale, and their eyes horrified. World Zune battle, imminent. They have no mental preparation. He, as the instigator, Qinghong Shengzong's suzerain, was also dumbfounded at this time. What's going on? Didn't he just pass on Lei Hong's threat to the opponent? Why did the opponent directly attack? Moreover, they still shot at their Qinghong sacred sect's Jesuin. According to his seniority, this world venerable is still his master uncle. You have this strength? Duan Lingtian casually swiped his sword, and although he was stopped by the opponent, he still had the absolute upper hand. At the same time, Duan Lingtian was a little disappointed, because the Jesuin of the Qinghong sacred sect in front of him is much weaker than the Zhaoani of the Qingyun sacred sect he met in the past, and is almost the same as Guolin, another saint of the Qinghong sacred sect. Duan. Master Duan Lingtian, have something to say, have something to say. The opponent shot with all his strength, almost using all his strength to block it, and it was very difficult to block it. Hearing the other party's calm words and seeing the other party's casual posture, how could he not see that the other party did not try his best at all? Perhaps, even half of the strength is far from being used. Before Duan Lingtian could speak, the suzerain of the Qinghong sacred sect spoke again. Master Duan Lingtian, don't forget that my senior brother Lei Hong is not weaker than you now. If you dare to kill our senior uncle, senior brother Lei Hong will definitely not give up. Duan Lingtian frowned suddenly when the patriarch of the Qinghong sacred sect said this, and the face of the Qinghong sacred sect's world-venerated powerhouse changed drastically. In the past, why didn't he think that the suzerain of their Qinghong Shengzong was so brainless? Didn't you see that Duan Lingtian was angry? Young people will inevitably have a bigger temper. If you are not arrogant, is that still called a young man? Really? As Qinghong Shengzong Jizin's complexion changed drastically, before he even had time to comfort Duan Lingtian, Duan Lingtian had already stepped up his attack again. I still say the same thing. I will wait for Lei Hong to visit him in the Nishan realm. Duan Lingtian spoke indifferently, and when the words fell, a more terrifying force suddenly surged out from the sword glow in his hand, and the power was more than doubled in an instant. Stop! The terrifying and selfless sword light seemed to destroy the world, and instantly annihilated the attack of the powerful Qinghong Shengzong Jesuin. What's more, where the sword light passed, the space cracks and black holes that originally appeared in the void collapsed, and a large space-collapsed area appeared. The opponent's offensive, at this moment, seemed to be swallowed by the collapsed space. No dash. Sensing the approaching breath of death, the Jesuin powerhouse of Qinghong sacred sect only had time to let out an unwilling and mournful cry, and then it became weaker and weaker until it disappeared. The sword light passed by, and if it turned into thousands of lights and shadows, it would crush Qinghong Shengzong's Jesuan powerhouse to pieces, as if a human-shaped glass was smashed, annihilated the collapsed space, and set part of the turbulent space. At the same time, boom, rumble. Above Qinghong Shengzong's sky, the sky that was originally blue and clean suddenly became dizzy. Countless dark clouds gathered, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, accompanied by deafening thunder and loud bangs. After the cloud gathered, it turned into a cloud of blood, and immediately the rain of blood began to pour down. What's more, because it was the World Lord who fell, the scene was even more vast and shocking than the half-step World Lord's fall. The area shrouded by the vision of heaven and earth is at least several times larger than the scene where the half-sage fell, which is comparable to the half-step world venerable. Even another top force that is closer to the Qinghong sacred sect can clearly see such visions. What is that? In this force, a group of powerhouses headed by a few half-step world lords rose up from the sky. Looking at the direction of Qinghong's sacred sect from afar, Tong Kong shrank in unison. Under their gaze, the commotion from Qinghong's sacred sect even spread to their front door. They were far apart, and it could be seen that under the cloud of blood all over the sky, there was an aged figure, shrouded by the sword light, and it was shattered in an instant, and at the same time let out a shrill scream. No dash. Then, the sound gradually disappeared, but the pouring blood rain became bigger and bigger. Is it Qinghong Shengzong's side? Back then, I had seen the fall of a half-step world venerable, but the commotion was much smaller than the commotion in front of me. If Qinghong Sacred Sect's half-step world venerable falls, the movement will not reach our side. If I'm not wrong, this is the fall of a world venerable powerhouse. A world venerable? Right now, there seems to be only one world lord left in the Qinghong Sacred Sect. The other world venerable, Lei Hong, has surpassed the world venerable and has become the 7th level powerhouse. This voice, this figure is somewhat familiar, very much like the world venerable of the Qinghong Sacred Sect. In the end, everyone decided to brave the rain of blood and approach the pass to find out. When they arrived near the gate of the Qinghong Sacred Sect, they saw two figures standing in the void, looking straight at the people above the Qinghong Sacred Sect's gate indifferently. At this moment, before one of the purple figures among the two figures, the space was still vibrating and distorting, and it was only after a long time that it was completely closed. Even so, they can still vaguely detect the terrifying fluctuations of space power emanating from it. Immediately afterwards, they saw. The gaze of the purple-clothed youth quickly fell on the Qinghong sect master, who was not unfamiliar to them. The suzerain of your Qinghong sacred sect, I will also send him on the road together. The rest of you, tell Lei Hong that I, Duan Lingtian, are waiting for him in the Nishan realm. Hearing this, they were shocked. God, this person is actually the second existence that surpassed the world venerable after the history was cut off? Duan Lingtian, the 7th level powerhouse of Xi'an? Moreover, according to the public announcement of the Tao of Heaven, Duan Lingtian is the first existence to survive the taboo realm of catastrophe after the history is cut off. Chapter 4606. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. No. If you dare to kill me, Senior Brother Lei Hong will definitely not let an God realm go. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, and seeing the murderous intent in Duan Lingshan's eyes, the Qinghong Sacred Sect Master naturally didn't have the slightest chance of luck. After all, even his master and uncle who was a world venerable were killed by the other party. Killing Jezun is like killing a chicken. What's more, he is a half-step world respected. You can't kill me. And this sentence became the last filial piety of Qinghong Shengzong's patriarch before his death. Almost when he finished speaking, Duan Lingtian didn't even see any movement, but he saw the space around him turbulent and distorted, and then his whole body was weird. The original place was fragmented, and the breath was instantly annihilated. Boom. In the next moment, the blood cloud had not yet dissipated from the sky and piled up again, and an even bigger blood rain poured down. The heaven and earth vision of the half-step Jizan's death was superimposed with the previous heaven and earth vision of Jizan's death, making this rain of blood even bigger. There was a dead silence. Incom Situ updated chapters are the most complete and comprehensive, and the error-free content is repaired in the most timely manner. Due to cache reasons, browsers are recommended to visit Incom official website. Whether it was a group of powerful people from the Qinghong sacred sect or a group of people who rushed over to watch the excitement, they all felt their scalps tingling at this moment. This Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm actually came to Qinghong sacred sect, killing Jesuin first, and then killing half-step Jesuin, and half-step Jesuin is also the suzerain of Qinghong sacred sect. This moment, among the group of strongest people on Qinghong Shengzong's side, none of them dared to say anything. They were afraid that if they said anything, they would be killed by the other party. Now, they see it too. During this period of Ling Tian, he was young and energetic, and he didn't care about it when he was impulsive. He didn't think about an Aishan realm at all. Isn't he afraid that an I God realm will be turned upside down by Lei Hong in the future because of him? They are also at the 7th level of Xian. They don't think Duan Lingtian will be stronger than Lei Hong. Even because Duan Lingtian is young, they think Lei Hong's accumulation is stronger. Although Nishan realm has 2 extremely strong 7th levels, they also believe that even with the joint efforts of the 2, Lei Hong is still capable of retreating completely. However, thinking so, no one dare to speak again. Their Qinghong Shengzong suzerain who just died is a lesson from the past. They even realized that if the suzerain hadn't committed death, if the suzerain was willing to communicate with Duan Lingtian through sound transmission in a more tactful way, maybe Duan Lingtian wouldn't be irritated to such an extent. In that way, the only Jesuin of Qinghong sect would not have to die. It's good now. Qinghong Shangzong, the strongest 7th level powerhouse, did not dare to return to the sect, and Jesuin also died. In the future, can it still be regarded as the top sect in the Mingguang world? Of course, they knew that as long as Lei Hong survived for a day, then the top power in the Mingguang realm would be broken, and they would have a place in the Qinghong sacred sect for a day. Master, let's go back. Dan glanced at the rest of the Qinghong sacred sect. Seeing that the other party members were silent, they didn't make any further moves, greeted Feng Qingyang, and left together to return to the god-defying realm. After the figures of the 2 disappeared from everyone's sight range, everyone came back to their senses. A group of powerful people from the nearby top forces who came to watch the excitement dared to ask at this time. But they didn't ask why, because the group of powerful people from the Qinghong sacred sect were not in a high mood. However, there are still 1 or 2 people, because they have a good relationship with 1 or 2 strongest members of Qinghong Shengzong, and they understand the ins and outs of the matter through sound transmission. Damn it! Lei Hong actually met Duan Lingtian? Besides, Lei Hong ran away early because he was worried about being blocked by Duan Lingtian. Although Lei Hong ran away, he let the Qinghong sacred sect not have to worry. As long as Duan Lingtian dared to touch the Qinghong sacred sect, he would not let the god-defying realm go. This threat seems to be useless. It's useless. Otherwise, Duan Lingtian can come here and kill the world venerable first, and then kill half a step of the world venerable? This time, the Qinghong sacred sect is in bad luck. I heard that it was because the patriarch of the Qinghong sacred sect was so mean-spirited that he uttered nonsense in front of Duan Lingtian and threatened him in front of a group of people, which angered Duan Lingtian. Is he crazy? I don't know if Duan Lingtian can only be regarded as a very young man among the top powerhouses. Young people are not like us old people. Some of them regard face as a comparison. Life is more precious. It seems that Duan Lingtian is obviously this type of person. After knowing the ins and outs, everyone was a little dazed on the way back, and this matter soon began to ferment within the scope of Mingguang realm and spread widely. What? Duan Lingtian from the god-defying realm killed Qinghong, sacred sect, and Lei Hong's grand uncle Jejia? Moreover, he also killed the Qinghong sacred sect master? What's the situation? Duan Lingtian, when only he and his master were the 7th level powerhouses in the past, I didn't see him targeting other people for no reason. Why did he jump out at this time to attack Qinghong Shengzong behind Lei Hong? Made a move? I don't know. I heard that Lei Hong was vaccinated with Qinghong's sacred sect first and ran away first, avoiding Duan Lingtian. Does it mean that he provoked Duan Lingtian first? Speaking of this, I have some insider information here. It seems that Lei Hong wanted to kill a Jesuin from the Ascension realm, and the other party had already mixed with Duan Lingtian, and recently led his family to migrate from the Ascension realm to the God-defying realm went. The entire Mingguang realm was a sensation. This astonishing news makes one's scalp tingle. In the history of our Mingguang realm, it seems that Jesuin has never been killed by someone, right? Not to mention our Mingguang realm, even in the upper three realms, there has never been a case of a Jesuin being killed by someone. The Jesuin who died in the history of the 10,000 realms are basically the middle 18th realm, and the middle class who died in the past. Boundary venerable of the realm. Lei Hong hid first. If he knew the news, he would probably go crazy, right? It must be crazy. He might go to the God-defying realm and start a killing spree. Young people are not easy to provoke. The temper is so big. In fact, at this time, in a certain corner of the Mingguang realm, Lei Hong did receive the news. Even before the news spread, he had already received multiple summons from Qinghang Shengzong. Young and vigorous? However, compared to most people who think Duan Lingtian is young and vigorous, he doesn't feel that way. An existence that can achieve such achievements at this age, will it be a young and vigorous person? If he is young and vigorous, can he live smoothly until now? Under the extreme anger, Lei Hong calmed down instead, thinking about whether there was any conspiracy behind Duan Lingtian's arrogance. For example, to lure him to go against the God realm to kill? This Ling Tian wants to trap and kill him? As a person who was once extremely young and vigorous, and suffered a lot of losses because of his youth and vigor, and even had his life hang by a thread several times, Lei Hong also woke up after several life and death. After that, he upholds a principle. If you are not an opponent of the enemy, just admit it. If you can't afford to offend people, don't offend them, just endure. Like Feng Qingyang from the God-defying realm back then, sitting in Tongtian Pagoda, although he was very unhappy, facing the powerful Feng Qingyang, he still swallowed his anger and retreated. If he was still young and energetic, and said a few more harsh words, wouldn't the other party chop him up? As for his high profile during this period, it is entirely because he feels that he has the strength to control those people he is going to control and the forces behind them. Because he was a comer here, Lei Hong didn't feel that Duan Lingtian killed 2 people in Qinghang sacred sect because of his youth and vigor, and one of them was Jezun. Chapter 4607. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. However, since Duan Lingtian slapped me in the face so brazenly, wouldn't I be underestimated if I didn't do anything? Thinking of this, Lei Hong's eyes showed a ruthless look again, extremely cold, as if he chose to eat someone. Thinking of him, Lei Hong, who has risen all the way to today, except for being slapped in the face once or twice in Weimar, he has never had a similar experience since then. This time, Duan Lingtian's behavior completely angered him. What's more, if he does nothing this time, 9 out of 10 he will be confused and breed demons, which will do all harm to his next practice. In the Mingguang realm, rumors were flying all over the sky about the demise of Qinghang Shengzong's world-venerable powerhouse. Duan Lingtian and his master Feng Qingyang have also returned to the Nishan realm. Xiao Tian, are you planning to lure Lei Hong to the God-defying realm to trap and kill him? Feng Qingyang asked with a smile. This time, he went to the Mingguang realm with his disciple, and watched with his own eyes that the other party even killed the Qinghang Shengzong, but he didn't express any opinions, because he knew that the other party must have his purpose and certainty in doing so. If only Lei Hong could be trapped and killed so easily. Duan Lingtian shook his head. Although what he did this time was very high profile and powerful enough to completely anger Lei Hong, but he also felt that Lei Hong might not be so stupid, and came directly to his death. When he went out this time, he had seen Lei Hong's cautiousness, and he only appeared as a clone of the law. You must know that this was because Lei Hong didn't know his cards. Duan Lingtian can be sure that the current Lei Hong must feel that he has enough confidence to escape under the cooperation of the 2 strongest 7th-level existences in the Nishan realm, but even so, Lei Hong still chooses to be cautious. It can be seen that his cautiousness is beyond the reach of others. Not only, but on a whim, he wanted to take a look at Lei Hong's forces in the Mingguang realm, but the other party had already sent a message back, bluntly saying that he would hide outside in the near future. In addition, He also reminded Qinghang Shengzong that he, Duan Lingtian, did not dare to take action against Qinghang Shengzong easily, thinking that Duan Lingtian would definitely not get too rigid with it for the safety of the god-defying realm. I really didn't expect Lei Hong to be so powerful. If I had known earlier, I would have killed him the first time I saw him. After Feng Qingyang heard Duan Lingshan's words, a cold light flashed in his eyes, and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. In the past, the first time he saw Lei Hong was outside the Tongtian Tower, shortly after the Tongtian Tower came down. Lei Hong was one of the first batch of Jesuan and saints who came at that time, and even talked to him. At that time, Lei Hong didn't have the current level of cultivation, and his law clone couldn't reach the point where his eyes were vivid, so it can be seen that the one who appeared at that time must be the deity. Hearing Master Feng Qingyang mentioning this matter, Duan Lingtian smiled calmly. Master, you don't have to be angry. Even if you can't kill Lei Hong in the near future, you may not have a chance in the future. As for Lei Hong, he thought of killing him as soon as he could, because when he heard about this person from the beginning, he didn't like him at all. Back then, he actually took the lead, intending to coerce the Nishan realm into handing him over. 2. Feng Qingyang also laughed. If you can't kill him now, it doesn't mean you won't have a chance in the future, unless he shrinks back and never shows up again. Soon, the master and apprentice separated. Duan Lingtian returned to Xia's house, and Feng Qingyang returned to the plane of the heavens Jimia Tian as before, and continued to be his Jimia Tian D. Since Feng Qingyang came back from the Tongtian Tower last time, he didn't feel used to it after staying in Xia's house for a few days, and ran back to his former place, Nemiatian, became the heavenly emperor of Nirvana again. Even, as long as the former old department is still alive, he has basically found it back. The current Feng Qingyang is no longer the previous Feng Qingyang. He represents the top combat power of the Nishan realm, the top combat power of the myriad realms, and even the land outside the realm. The text of the Tao of Heaven was announced to the world, and everyone in Nishan realm saw the achievements of Feng Qingyang today. Although, some people still question whether it is a person with the same name and surname. However, when Feng Qingyang returned to Nirvana at this juncture and ascended to the throne of God again, it undoubtedly defeated many doubting voices. Feng Qingyang returned to the heaven of Nirvana this time, and not long after, the emperors from all the planes of the heavens came to pay their respects, but except for a few people who used to be gentle with Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian had an old age, the rest were shut out. The wind is light now, and the eyes of those heavenly emperors are completely different. In his eyes, the emperors of the heavens are no different from chickens and dogs. Only the heavenly emperor, who had a relationship with their master and apprentice in the past, is eligible to be treated with courtesy by him. There are also people who came with the same heavenly emperor, whispering in private, thinking that Feng Qingyang is not the Feng Qingyang in the text of Tiandao, but just a person with the same name and surname, and even the words are disrespectful and offensive. As a result, at the moment when his words that only the heavenly emperor beside him could hear fell, he was shaken all over, and then under the eyes of the heavenly emperor beside him, he changed from a middle-aged person to an old man in an instant, and then became old and decayed all the way. In the end, it turned into dust and disappeared. All this happened in the blink of an eye, which made the heavenly emperor on the side almost pee out of fear. God, what kind of astonishing and terrifying method is this? At this moment, the trace of doubt deep in his heart completely dissipated, and then he knelt down on the spot, begging for mercy. Master Feng Qingyang, the person around me offended you. He deserves death. It is also hard to escape the blame. Please punish. Just now, the people nearby saw the person beside the heavenly emperor grow old and annihilated in an instant, and felt their scalps go numb for a while, wondering what kind of existence he had offended to be killed so silently. The person who makes the shot is definitely a strong person who is good at the law of time in the plane of the gods, and it is estimated that they are not as simple as the low-level gods or the middle-level gods. Ordinary high-ranking gods may not be able to do this step silently under their noses. Now, as the heavenly emperor knelt down and begged for mercy and said nothing, they suddenly realized it. It turned out that it was the people around him who offended the heavenly Emperor Feng Qingyang who had just returned. How dare you offend Emperor Feng Tian? You are looking for death. Oomph. Death is not a pity. Emperor Rukawa, the people around you are really ignorant. Someone scolded angrily, and someone mocked the heavenly emperor who was kneeling on the ground. They are also the emperors of the heavens, but they know how unruly this person is usually, and they don't want to be weaker than others. But now, seeing how cowardly the other party is, they naturally treat it like a joke. Get out. An indifferent voice came from the palace of Jimi Tian Tian. From now on, you are not allowed to step into Jimi Tian Tian half a step. Otherwise, you will be wiped out. Chapter 4608. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Yes, Master Feng Qingyang. Rukawa, who was kneeling on the ground, heard the words, hurriedly stood up, turned around and rolled away in the air. As if he was afraid that the wind would be dissatisfied, he rolled very hard. However, no one present at this moment laughed at him for doing so. If it were them, they would only do it more standard. Because that Emperor Feng Tian said the word roll. Let's go to. Feng Qingyang's voice continued to come, and his tone was as indifferent as before. The reason why I returned to Nirvana Heaven is because I have stayed here for many years in the past, and I have deep feelings for it. So, you don't need to worry too much. In the past, you were what you were, and in the future, you will still be what you are. My existence will not affect you. Hearing Feng Qingyang's statement, all the heavenly emperors from all the heavens and planes were immediately relieved, and at the same time, they also hurriedly bid farewell and left without any neglect. I was afraid of stepping on the person next to Emperor Rukawa. That person, they still have the impression that he is the strongest under Rukawa, Heavenly Emperor. Although his strength has not yet reached the level of the Heavenly Emperor, he is still catching up with the Heavenly Emperor. On the plane of the heavens, he can barely enter the ranks of the top powerhouses. If they were to face each other, there would be no more than dozens of moves, and it would be impossible to win the opponent even if they had a chance. But it was such a person who was killed silently in front of Feng Qingyang, which made them feel shocked and terrified from the bottom of their hearts. After the heavenly emperors of Fangfang retreated, Feng Qingyang was reminiscing about the old days with several heavenly emperors who were familiar with him and Duan Lingtian, as well as a few powerhouses from the heavenly planes. Emperor Feng Tian, you two, master and apprentice, are really shocking. I didn't expect that you both took such a crucial step, surpassing those powerhouses who are high above the plane of the gods. One side. That's right. Although I saw that your disciple was good back then, I didn't expect him to reach such a height. But I don't know if he will come back. I haven't seen him for a while, said another. It feels like it hasn't been many years. My cultivation has not advanced much, but Feng Tiendi, you and your disciple have already stood at such an astonishing height. I am shocked. It is unimaginable that I am here. I have known you in the past. Fortunately, I have known you in the past, otherwise I would rush to the door now, and I would probably be one of the group of people who were chased away by you, Emperor Feng Tian. Another person said so, and as her voice fell, the others all laughed, but their laughter was a little restrained. Although they have known Feng Qingyang for a long time, and talked and laughed with Feng Qingyang or Duan Lingtian in the past, they also have self-knowledge, knowing that Feng Qingyang and Duan Lingtian are existences on another level. It is a great blessing for them to be able to remember the old days and remember these old friends. The next time Xiaotian passes by, they'll greet you and we'll get together again. Feng Qingyang smiled. Good. Everyone's eyes lit up, and they also wanted to see the little guy from the past. Thinking of that little guy who used to be cautious in front of them, they couldn't help but sigh inwardly. It really is the passage of time, the vicissitudes of life. It has only been so many years, and the little guys who used to look up to them now have a strength far stronger than them, standing on the top of this world. They didn't stay in Jimi Tian Tian Emperor's palace for a long time, chatted with Feng Qingyang for a few days, declined Feng Qingyang's polite invitation to keep them overnight, and went back. Of course, when he went back, he didn't forget to remind Feng Qingyang again. Emperor Feng Tian, next time that disciple under your sect comes, you must inform us. Yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time. I miss him very much. I want to see again, the little guy from the past. How much has changed now? I am afraid that standing there, the momentum can make me bow my head. Ha ha. Facing the reminders from several people, Feng Qingyang responded with a smile one by one. After the few people left, Feng Qingyang stayed in Jimi Tian Emperor Palace for a few days, and then left again. Go to Shurahel. Azurahel. Last time, I heard World Master Shao say that there is a place that even he and those semi-holy world masters dare not approach easily. Even his father was injured when he forced his way into it. Azurahel, before Feng Qingyang only knew that it was one of the 7 evil places of the heavens, and also one of the 3 most dangerous places among the 7 evil places. Until some time ago, he didn't know that the top 3 of the 7 evil lands of the heavens, even in the eyes of the gods' plane and the most powerful people in the anti-god world, are also evil lands, known as the 3 most fierce places in the god-defying realm. Known as the first of the 7 evil places in the heavenly planes, the god's graveyard is also ranked first among the 3 evil places in the god-defying realm. The second is the boundless abyss. Ranked third is Surahel. The 3 fierce lands also have entrances from each of the planes of the gods in the God against God realm. Azurahel, to Feng Qingyang, is considered a blessed place. When he was hunted down by strong men from the Yun family, the land of gods on the plane of the gods, he survived by entering Azurahel. Later on, he was even in the Azurahel, where he obtained the inheritance of the former strongman of the god-defying realm, the Sword of Time. Although Shi Guangjian's greatest achievement during his lifetime was only a half-step world venerable, it was not because of his lack of talent that he failed to become a world venerable, but because he was targeted by others and died. Otherwise, given enough time, he will definitely become a world venerable powerhouse in the god-defying realm. Back then, the Sword of Time was also recognized as the most promising existence to become a world venerable. I didn't expect that in the Nishan realm, there are still places where even the world's most powerful people can be injured. This time, Feng Qingyang went to Azurahel precisely to meet the place where the father of the world lord Xiao Mubai, the former world venerable and strong man of Nishan realm, was all injured. According to what Xiao Mubai said, the Azurahel is the most dangerous and mysterious place, and as a half-saint, he can enter the other places at will without any risk. Of course, there are still a few places that pose a threat to ordinary Zeons. Everyone who is strong in the world is injured. Where will it be? Could it be related to the period of history before the historical partition? Is it the secret realm or Jedi left by some strong men above the 7th level before the historical partition? It stands to reason that it should all disappear in smoke. I only heard from Xiaotian that before history is cut off, no matter how powerful an existence is, before the way of heaven destroys the world and restarts the world, it can only hide in the land of returning to the ruins to fend for itself. With such doubts in mind, after Feng Qingyang entered Shurahel, he followed the approximate direction Xiao Mubai said and headed there. On the way, Feng Qingyang thought of something and smiled calmly. This Shura is also predestined for us, master and apprentice. I strayed into this place because of the powerhouse of the Yun family who was recruited by Xiaotian. Later, here is the inheritance of the Time Sword. Later, Xiaotian also triggered the Taboo Realm catastrophe here, and successfully passed the catastrophe here. Although Feng Qingyang didn't experience some things with Duan Lingtian, he heard Duan Lingtian talk about them later, so he knows these things in detail. It's here. Soon, Feng Qingyang came to the place Xiao Mubai mentioned to him, a place shrouded in mist. His consciousness swept out, and there was no movement like a stone sinking into the sea. Chapter 4609. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. This place is really not easy. After the spiritual consciousness seemed to be devoured silently, Feng Qingyang's originally calm face also became extremely dignified in an instant. It is indeed a place where the world's most powerful people can be injured. He heard from the world lord Xiao Mubai that the former world venerable strongman in the Nishan realm, that is, Xiao Mubai's biological father, was accidentally injured here, and he hadn't had time to recover from his injuries. The catastrophe of the year came, and his father fell under the catastrophe. If it wasn't for that injury, his father would have survived at least 2 or 3 rounds of the 10,000 years tribulation. It was also because of this that the Nishan realm blocked the news of his father's death, and the outside world had no way of knowing that the Nishan realm no longer had a world-venerable powerhouse to rely on. Go in and have a look. Even if Jiezun entered this foggy place, he would return with serious injuries. So Feng Qingyang was not afraid to underestimate this place. He was nervous and extra cautious. Call. In a flash of Feng Qingyang's figure, he was like a nimble elf, lightly sinking into the fog-shrouded land. After entering, Feng Qingyang's expression couldn't help but change. It's just because, within the dense fog, suddenly surges of power that chilled his heart rushed toward him. Boom, boom. In a blink of an eye, more than a dozen forces carrying the ear-piercing sound of rushing thunder, like an attack launched by more than a dozen people, cooperate with each other, like forming a formation, and the combined attack is directed towards the wind. Feng Qingyang took a deep breath. His complexion instantly became dignified, and the power stored in his body surged out, combined with the time law of the Dzogchen realm and the 7th-level swordsmanship. He urged a sword to slash out, facing the attack against him from the darkness of the mist. Stop! The fierce sword glow, as if carrying the power of destroying the world, swings through the void, and the space can be seen cracking inch by inch in the mist. Even after the crack, the picture is affected by the law of time, freezes for a short time, and then accelerates to explode instantly. Roar dash. After the mist, there was an earth-shattering beast roar, which made Feng Qingyang's blood surge, which also shocked him extremely. He is no longer the middle in the past. He is now a super strong standing at the top of the contemporary pyramid, the existence of the 7th level of the strongest. There is a beast's roar that can shake the blood in his body through the air. It's incredible. Even if it's a big monster of the realm of the world, a dozen of them surround him and roar in his ears, it may not be able to make him do this. At the same time, Feng Qingyang discovered that his howling sword glow met the dozens of combined forces behind the mist, and after only a moment of stalemate, he was crushed. At this moment, his mind was shocked. His offensive was crushed. Boom. When the attack was crushed, Feng Qingyang retreated quickly, because the consciousness around him felt the danger. Even so, a terrifying force, carrying its aftermath, still swept towards him. At the moment of hastily withdrawing, Feng Qingyang felt a burst of anxiety for no reason. When Feng Qingyang appeared outside, the fog in the fog-shrouded land ahead could be seen shaking, and then an area without fog shroud appeared for a short time. In this area, a translucent space barrier appeared and stopped the blood-red power that seemed to be carrying the supreme power. Roar dash. Another beast roar came, and Feng Qingyang could hear it. This sound was undoubtedly the same as the previous one, but separated by the space barrier, the sound of this beast roar was much quieter, and its power was no longer there. However, he could clearly see that at the same time as the roar of the beast appeared, the blood-red force hitting the space barrier intensified and oscillated again, making the space barrier seem to be crumbling. And at this moment, translucent imprints similar to talismans suddenly appeared on the space barrier, emitting a soft white light, suppressing the blood-red power, allowing the space barrier to calm down again. This space barrier, Feng Qingyang sucked in a breath of cold air. Just as he extended his spiritual consciousness, he was swallowed by it before he got close to the space barrier. This also made him realize that the previous spiritual consciousness disappeared, most likely because of this unusual space barrier. It's not that Feng Qingyang has never been in contact with space barriers before, but whether it's the space barrier between the myriad worlds, or the space barrier between the myriad worlds and the place outside the world, to him, it's all the same as Zihu's infinite space barrier. Different. Spiritual consciousness can be easily explored, and people can tear it apart at any time and shuttle back and forth. Stop. Feng Qingyang slashed out with all his strength again, before the fog gathered and was about to cover the space barrier that blocked the power. He slashed up. In the past, the sword that could easily tear apart the space barrier between all walks of life failed to work this time and was easily stopped. Sure enough, this is Feng Qingyang's temptation. Just now he discovered the strangeness of the space barrier. It can stop the force that crushes his offensive, and it can also swallow his spiritual consciousness, so it can also stop his offensive. What is behind this mysterious space barrier? At this moment, Feng Qingyang's heart is full of doubts and full of thirst for knowledge. At this time, the fog gathered again, covering up the existence of the space barrier. The last scene that Feng Qingyang saw was behind the space barrier, the scene where the blood in his heart receded. I can easily pass through the space barrier to enter, and I can also shoot inside, extending my spiritual consciousness. I can also get out of it without being hindered, and it even stopped the blood-like force from attacking me inside. I'm outside. No matter whether it's the divine sense or the power I'm sending out, I can't pass through it. That beast roar. What exactly is it? Blood tide. Is it its power? It was it that almost hurt me just now? It was also the one that seriously injured the father of World Lord Xiao back then? Feng Qingyang looked at the fog in front of him, and he really had thousands of doubts waiting to be answered. This place is so weird. However, Feng Qingyang temporarily gave up on entering it again, because he found that as long as he had the idea of wanting to enter again, he would feel inexplicably uneasy in his heart. Lord Xiao. In order to learn more about this place, Feng Qingyang immediately found Xiao Mubai after leaving here. Ask him if anyone other than his father has ever been inside before?
Have.
Xiao Mubai gave a very positive answer. Before that, I heard from my father that many people went in, but they never came out again, including some half-step world respecters. Because of this, my father entered it to explore out of curiosity. That place has always been recognized as a Jedi. Chapter 46:10. Jedi. This is not the first time that Xiao Mubai called this mysterious place of Azura Hell like this, but the last time Feng Qingyang heard from him that his father, who was a world venerable, came out alive, so he didn't pay much attention to it. Encom Sidu updated chapters are the most complete and comprehensive, and the error-free content is repaired in the most timely manner. Due to cache reasons, browsers are recommended to visit Encom official website. Jiezun can come out alive, and as an existence beyond Jiezun, naturally his life will not be in danger. At that time, he even felt that he must be able to see through the mysteries of this mysterious place. But I didn't expect that I went in quickly and came out quickly. He didn't suffer any injuries, but it was also because he walked fast. Otherwise, even if he didn't die, he would have to pay a big price for the power displayed by that blood tide. Did your father say what he encountered in it? Feng Qingyang asked for details. Last time he only heard from Xiao Mubai that his father returned seriously injured not long after entering, and he didn't elaborate on what his father encountered inside. Come to think of it, as the other party's son, Xiao Mubai should have mentioned the process to him after the other party returned from a serious injury. That's what I said. Xiao Mubai nodded. Father said that as soon as he entered, he felt a suffocating breath approaching from a distance. When he recovered, he was almost drowned by the power in the mist. At the critical moment, he retreated at full speed while resisting that force, but he still suffered serious injuries before he came out. According to what my father said, that power is definitely beyond the power of the world venerable, and it may be comparable to the existence of the 7th level that only appeared before the historical cut-off. It is also because of this that Xiao Mubai did not follow Feng Qingyang to explain the details. He felt that it was unnecessary. The power of existence comparable to the 7th level, as the strongest 7th level Feng Qingyang, would definitely be able to deal with it. Master Feng Qingyang, have you gone in? Xiao Mubai asked. Feng Qingyang nodded. That place is a bit weird. As for the power your father mentioned, it is definitely not as simple as the 7th level. Even if it is the 7th level of Xion, it is not an ordinary 7th level of Xion. With that power, it is difficult for me to go any further, and I can only be forced to quit. Hearing Feng Qingyang's words, Xiao Mubai flinched and turned pale with shock. How can this be? Even Mr. Feng Qingyang, you can only go in and then leave? He was really scared. What is that place? The 7th level can be called the strongest existence in the world. When you enter it, you can't even kill the first blocker, but you are forced to come out instead? That's what it is. Feng Qingyang smiled wryly, then greeted Xiao Mubai and left. I went directly to Duan Lingtian. Master. Duan Lingtian didn't expect that after only a few days of separation, his master would come to his door again. Presumably he had something to ask him. You have something to do with me? Xiao Tian. Feng Qingyang cut to the chase and directly told Duan Lingtian about his experience, as well as the previous communication with Xiao Mubai about the mysterious place in Azura Hell. Duan Lingtian couldn't help being moved when he heard the words. He knows the place in Azura Hell. What's more, in the past when he attracted the heavenly tribulation of the Forbidden Realm, he also passed it there, and after successfully crossing the calamity, he also left the god-defying realm from there, fearing that someone would block him and strangle him in the cradle. Azura Hell, when he first knew about it, he only knew that it was one of the 7 evil places of the heavens. It was only later that I realized that it was one of the 3 most dangerous of the 7 evil places. But I didn't expect that those 3 fierce places were also known as the 3 fierce places against the gods. Of course, Duan Lingtian has never been to the other 2 fierce places. Master, you have the power to pressure you? Duan Lingtian couldn't help but ask for details, because in his opinion, this is really amazing. There is such a terrible existence hidden in that place of Azura Hell? Didn't it mean that after the history is cut off, it is extremely difficult to appear beyond the existence of saints and world venerables? Tiandao has also announced that his master is the first strong man who surpassed saints and world venerables after the historical cutoff. The existence of surpassing saints and Jesuin who appeared later, such as him, Meng Han, and Lei Hong, were also widely announced to everyone by Tiandao through Tiando's words. Unless that was the existence before the historical partition. Only the existence before the historical partition, even if it is as strong as the old man Wukong, can't he just hide in the place of returning to the ruins, leaving only the remnant soul lingering on? According to the memory of the old man Wukong, he was definitely one of the top few powerhouses before the history cut off. In addition, in the memory of the old man Wukong, there is no record of the 3 fierce places in the Nishan realm. Maybe the 3 places before the historical cutoff were not called the current names, but there is no relevant information record. If there is such a powerful existence, isolated in a certain place, it is impossible for the old man Wukong to have no news at all. At this moment, Duan Lingtian thought a lot. Azura Hell is so dangerous. So what about the infinite abyss, which is even more dangerous than him, and the cemetery of gods? Wrong. Suddenly, Duan Lingtian thought of another question. The 3 most vicious lands in the god-defying realm. Why do you rank the infinite abyss and the tomb of the gods before the Azura Hell? The mysterious place in Azura Hell, even Jiezun couldn't get a glimpse of it, and retreated with serious injuries. Isn't this the most dangerous place? Duan Lingtian expressed his doubts, and Feng Qingyang was quite puzzled when he heard the words. Then, the two had no choice but to find Xiao Mubai. Ask Xiao Mubai, the know-it-all of the god-defying realm. Perhaps Xiao Mubai, the world lord of the Nishan realm, is much younger than the other half-step world venerable world masters, but he is the son of the former world venerable powerhouse of the Nishan realm. Actually, this ranking was made by my father himself, Xiao Mubai said with a wry smile. The reason why Azura Hell is ranked 3rd is because there is only one mysterious place shrouded in mist in Azura Hell. In that endless abyss, there are 2 mysterious places shrouded in mist. As for the cemetery of the gods, there are 6 mysterious places shrouded in mist. Following Xiao Mubai's words, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang also gained a better understanding of the 3 fierce places in the Nishan realm. It turns out that the ranking of fierce places is based on this. Those 8 fog-shrouded places, can your father be sure that they are as dangerous as the mysterious places in Azura Hell? He has been in all of them? Feng Qingyang asked with a frown. The time at the mysterious land of Azura Hell caused Xiao Mubai's father to retreat with serious injuries, so that he died in the following 10,000 years of catastrophe. He couldn't have been in all the other 8 places, could he? If it was really such a dangerous place, would he still be alive to face the catastrophe? Chapter 46:11. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Duan Lingtian also looked at Xiao Mubai. He also found it unrealistic. Hearing this, Xiao Mubai couldn't help but smile wryly. Of course I haven't been there. Father has only been to the mysterious place shrouded in mist in Azura Hell. However, the 8 mysterious places in the infinite abyss and the tomb of the gods are no different from the place in Shura Hell, just from the surface and the detection of spiritual consciousness. It can absorb divine consciousness, but it's hard to get a glimpse of it. In addition, I heard from my father that according to the historical records of the Nishan realm, there were also some half-step world lords who went to the 8 mysterious places in the past, but they never came back. Even, there are 2 places where it seems that the former god-defying realm master entered. One of them was seriously injured and retreated, and the other did not come out alive again. Xiao Mubai's words can be regarded as solving the confusion in Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's heart. It turned out to be like this. It's not that Xiao Mubai's father has entered those mysterious places, but that in the history of Nishan realm, many half-step world venerables have disappeared there, and it is even suspected that there is another world venerable missing. In that case, it does seem that there is some connection. Duan Lingshan's eyes flashed, and then he guessed. You say? The 9 mysterious places, could they be the 9 entrances and exits of the space where powerful monsters exist? Actually, behind those 9 mysterious space barriers is the same space? Hearing Duan Lingshan's guess, Xiao Mubai nodded. It's not impossible. If it leads to the same space. Feng Qingyang's gaze suddenly deepened. What kind of space would that be? There are actually 9 entrances and exits that exist in the Nishan realm. Do not know either. Is there such a place in the rest of the world? Hearing Master Feng Qingyang's words, Duan Lingtian shook his head and said, It's just speculation that the 9 mysterious places are the entrances and exits of the same space, and it may not be true. However, if you want to know whether there is such a place in the rest of the world, just ask Zhongshan and you will know. Zhongshan is the world venerable powerhouse in the feathering realm who came back with Xiao Mubai some time ago. Now, the Zhang family behind Zhongshan has migrated from the feathering realm to the god-defying realm and settled in another plane of the gods. In the Zhang family, there were also some people who were unwilling to come and stayed in the Yuhua world. However, more than 90% of the people came here. As Zhongshan's only Jesuan powerhouse, his appeal is still very strong. We'll call Brother Zhang over. When Xiao Mubai left in a flash, Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang's voice was heard, and the speed was extremely fast. Zhongshan was brought with him not long after. Zhongshan has met Lord Duan Lingtian and Lord Feng Qingyang. After Zhongshan came over, he saluted Duan Lingtian and Duan Lingtian respectfully. At the same time, he looked into the depths of Duan Lingshan's gaze with a bit of sincere awe. After he brought the Zhang family to Nishan realm, the people behind the Zhang family also brought him a shocking news. Duan Lingtian, a strong man from the Nishan realm, kissed the Qinghang sect of the Bright Light realm, annihilated his suzerain, and even killed a strong world venerable, Qinghang Shangzong. He naturally knew that it was the sect behind Lei Hong. Master Duan Lingtian, you and Lei Hong have a grudge purely because you protect me. Zhongshan bowed to Duan Lingtian. Now that you are attacking the Qinghang sacred sect of the Mingguang realm, with Lei Hong's temperament, I'm afraid you won't let it go. This, you must be careful. In addition, from now on, Master Duan Lingtian, if you have anything to ask me, Zhongshan, you only need to say hello, and Zhongshan, I will definitely do it without reservation. What Zhongshan said was serious and sincere, and he really accepted Duan Lingshan's past protection. Don't worry, I know it well. Lei Hong, in my eyes, is just a clown. Duan Lingtian smiled calmly, changed the subject and said, We came to you this time to ask you something. Then, Duan Lingtian asked Zhongshan if there were any dangerous places in the Ascension realm like the 9 mysterious places among the 3 most dangerous places in the Nishan realm have. Soon, Zhongshan gave Duan Lingtian the answer, bluntly saying that in the Yuhua world, there are also such places, and even some world venerable powerhouses fell in it, and those who entered half a step of the world venerable never came out again. However, those who perish are some existences in the history of the Ascension world. People of later generations know the dangers of those places, so it is naturally impossible to take risks easily. At least, apart from the Jesuan who are still alive in the Mingguang realm, Zhang Shan has never heard of anyone who has gone to those places to explore, except for those who know that they will die in the next 10,000-year catastrophe. As for Jie, who knew that he would die in the next 10,000 years tribulation, he entered those places to seek a further path. However, in the end, without exception, all of them stayed inside and never came out again. How many places like that are there in the Ascension world? Duan Lingtian asked. The 9 places exist in 3 different small plains. In one of the small plains, there is only 1 place, and in the other 2 small plains, there are 3 places and 5 places, Zhang Shan said. Another 9? After listening to Zhang Shan's words, Duan Lingtian glanced at Feng Qingyang and Xiao Mubai, and saw surprise in the eyes of the other 2. He did not expect to be so similar to Nishan realm. Are there places like this in the other 2 realms of the upper 3 realms, the Bright Light realm and the Primordial Ming realm? Feng Qingyang questioned Zhang Shan. Zhang Shan heard the words and said, there are indeed 9 such places in the Hongming realm, but there are none in the Bright Light realm. However, in the history of the upper 3 realms, many half-step world lords and world lords from the Bright Light realm went to the Yuhua realm and the Hongming realm respectively to explore, and the half-step world lords never came out again. People perish. When Zhang Shan said this, he paused for a moment, and then said, as far as I know, there are 9 similarly dangerous places within one of the 18 realms of China. Master Duan Lingtian, you are asking the same question as Master Feng Qingyang. But is there such a place in Nishan realm? As a world venerable, Zhang Shan is naturally not stupid, and he knows that the 2 people in front of him asked him about this matter, and it is likely that an Aishan realm also has such a place. Duan Lingtian nodded. Zhang Shan couldn't help but brighten his eyes when he heard the words, as far as I know, those dangerous places are half-step into Jesuin, and you will die, and Jesuin enters life and death. And the strength of the 2 adults is far superior to Jie. Have you gone in to investigate? Zhang Shan was really curious. Those dangerous places are too mysterious, and have always been unsolved mysteries. In the contemporary era, there are also some world venerables who have been tempted and want to find out, but few of them really take action, and they are worried that they will perish because of curiosity. Chapter 46:12. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. I've been in it. Due to cache reasons, please directly visit the Encom website to watch the fastest chapter update. Feng Qingyang opened his mouth, did not hide anything, and told his own experience. It also changed Zhang Shan's expression. Master Feng Qingyang, who was as strong as Feng Qingyang, was forced to retreat by the creatures inside? If he hadn't heard this Lord Feng Qingyang speak in person, he would never have believed it. Soon, Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan left, and Feng Qingyang looked at Duan Lingtian and asked with a smile, Xiao Tian, your strength is stronger than mine. Do you want to go in and have a look? He was really curious about the place. Duan Lingtian shook his head when he heard the words, Master. To be honest, I'm not very interested in those mysterious places. From what you said, the creatures inside should be restricted by certain rules, and there is no way to get out of it. Otherwise, with the strength of that monster, the 10,000 realms and the outer realms would have been in chaos long ago. You must know that in the past 10,000 worlds and the land outside the world, there was no existence beyond saints and world venerables. And those mysterious places existed long before he and his master Feng Qingyang appeared in this world. And there is no problem until now, so there is a high probability that there will be no problem later. That being the case, why should he bother? If my guess is correct, those mysterious places shrouded in mist are really the entrances and exits of a certain mysterious space. That mysterious space must not be simple. The gatekeeper can force you back, the master who has stepped into the 7th level of the strongest. If there are other creatures, the strength will not be weak. Master, I think since it has no effect on us, we don't need to take risks. If there is a more powerful creature that attacks you, you may not be able to retreat like this time. Duan Lingtian spoke very seriously. He has inherited the memory of the old man Wukong, so he naturally knows that the existence of the 7th level of Xian, before the historical partition, is considered a strong man, but when facing the old man Wukong at his peak, he is not at all. What kind of? Even a slap can kill him. After the 7th level of the strongest, The strength gap between each level of cultivation is no smaller than the sixth level of the strongest, that is, the gap between the saint, the realm of the world, and the seventh level of the strongest. With Duan Lingshan's words, cold water was poured on his face first, extinguishing Feng Qingyang's fiery curiosity about that mysterious place. After he was no longer in charge, he also realized that his previous behavior was a bit risky. It's because I'm too boring. Feng Qingyang sighed with a wry smile. I didn't expect that you can see clearly without Xiaotian. 2. Since it has no effect on us, there is no need to worry about them. Now, he has also lost his curiosity about that place. Curiosity killed the cat. He has traveled all the way, but he has seen many people die because of curiosity. Even in his hands, many people provoked him out of curiosity and were obliterated by him. Xiaotian. Immediately afterwards, Feng Qingyang thought of the scene of those old friends reuniting with him in Jalishan and told Duan Lingtian what he said. If you are free later, come to Jalishan. I will call them come and get together. Good. Duan Lingtian smiled and nodded. Exactly. I haven't seen them for a long time. After I've settled the matter at hand, they'll take a trip to the heaven of Nirvana. These 2 days, after being free, he finally started to prepare to solve that matter. Is there anything else you need to do now? Feng Qingyang was puzzled. I want to get that Yun Qingyan out. A cold light flashed in Duan Lingshan's eyes, and he said bluntly, of course, now he is merged with the person of the Hun Hun clan. It seems that the new name is Yun Xinfeng. At the beginning, Yun Qingyan was not there when he ruthlessly dealt with Kier and imprisoned Kier's soul. However, afterwards, he had already learned the whole story from Xiajia, the third master of the Xia family. He knew that Yun Qingyan changed his name to Yun Xinfeng, betrayed the Yun family, and even left the Nishan realm. It seems that he is no longer in the god-defying realm? Feng Qingyang frowned. If I go out to find him, I'm afraid he'll be looking for a needle in a haystack. Look for a needle in a haystack. Duan Lingshan's eyes were firm and his killing intent was awe-inspiring. No matter where he is, whether he is alive or dead, I will do my best to confirm it. This will also be my main goal in the future. After returning this time, his wife Kier was safe and sound, and he was finally relieved. However, Kier's suffering over the years made him unable to ignore it. Yun Qingyan must die. No matter what his name is now, even if only a little bit of his soul belongs to Yun Qingyan, he must die. Now, he has also enjoyed the family happiness, and the people around him have their own life for the time being, and it is time for him to solve this matter. Do you need me to help you? Feng Qingyang asked. The enemy of his disciple is naturally also his enemy. What's more, in the past, Yun Qingyan sent people to hunt him down and put him in the Shura Hell, and it was all because of good luck that he was able to survive smoothly. Master, if I really need your help, I won't be polite. Duan Lingtian took a deep breath. The killing intent disappeared from his eyes, the coldness dissipated on his face, and he regained his spring-like smile, and said to Feng Qingyang, Good. After Feng Qingyang responded, he said hello and left. Since his disciple has something to do, it is inconvenient for him to continue disturbing him. After Feng Qingyang left, Duan Lingtian stayed in Nishan realm for a few more days and made some arrangements. Then, he walked out of the god-defying realm and went to a place outside the realm. Old Ming. After arriving at the outer boundary, Duan Lingtian immediately contacted Mr. Ming of Bibo Tianfu, because for the next matter, asking him to help can get twice the result with half the effort. He just needs to wait for the news. Brother Duan Lingtian, what do you want me to do? Meng Han was a little surprised when he received the summons. He didn't expect that this man would come to see him within a few days of separation. I've heard that you killed 2 people from the Qinghong sacred sect in the Mingguang realm, and you completely offended Lei Hong to death. However, even if you are dealing with Lei Hong, you probably don't need to ask me for help, do you? Not only is Feng Qingyang aware of Duan Lingshan's true strength, even Meng Han is well aware of it, knowing that Lei Hong is absolutely impossible to be Duan Lingshan's opponent. Although many people think that Duan Lingshan's heavy hand against Lei Hong like that will make Lei Hong jump over the wall in a hurry and may backfire on himself. But he knew that this possibility was unlikely. Duan Lingtian dared to do that because he believed in his own strength, and he didn't worry about Lei Hong's retaliation afterwards. Old Ming, I'm here to find you. It has nothing to do with Lei Hong's incident. Duan Lingtian said that he did not expect that his deeds in the Mingguang realm had already reached the ears of Meng Han, who was outside the realm. Chapter 46:13. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. It has nothing to do with Lei Hong? Meng Han was puzzled. They'll go to Bibo Tianfu to find you. Let's meet and talk. Duan Lingtian decided to talk to Meng Han about this matter, because he had to describe Yun Qingjian's current new look to Meng Han face to face. Good. Meng Han soon waited for Duan Lingtian. At this moment, Duan Lingtian explained his purpose. Old Ming, the simple thing I asked you to do is to find the person I'm looking for. It's best not to mobilize the crowd, because I don't want to startle the snake. Old Ming, what you have to do is to contact the saints of the major saint forces in the outside world. Give them the portrait I drew, and ask them to help find that person. Just find someone, monitor them after you find them, and then pass the news to Bibo Tianfu. My avatar of this law will stay in Bibo Tianfu in the future. Hearing Duan Lingshan's words, Meng Han couldn't help being surprised. You are just a clone of the law? Duan Lingtian nodded. This is his clone of the law of time. Although the strength is not as good as his main body, if he really wants to face Meng Han, even if it is difficult to win, he can still remain invincible. Old Ming, ask them to help you find that person. Don't say that I am looking for that person, just say that you are looking for that person yourself. Once you find that person, those who can keep an eye on that person afterwards can get you, Mr. Ming, a favor within your ability. In this way, presumably they will do their best. Meng Han already felt that he owed Duan Lingtian a favor. If Duan Lingtian hadn't allowed him to enter the Tongtian Tower first, he really wasn't very sure of surviving the taboo realm and achieving today's achievement. Maybe it will end the same way as Feng Yifan in the Feather World. Don't worry, you can leave this matter to me. I will personally go to the great saint forces in the outer world. Meng Han said with a serious face. Next, you, the avatar of the law, stay at Bibo Tianfu and wait for news. Shall I find someone to entertain you? Or are you contacting that kid Xiao Tianxi? Duan Lingtian smiled and said, they'll just contact Palace Master Xiao. Good. Meng Han nodded, then said hello and left. And Duan Lingtian also contacted Xiao Tianxi on his own, telling him that he planned to stay in Bibo Tianfu for a while and needed him to arrange a place to stay, but he didn't want others to know. Everything is low-key. No problem. Knowing that Duan Lingtian was here, Xiao Tianxi was also a little surprised. He didn't expect the other party to come to Bibo Tianfu so soon, and at the same time he was curious about the other party's reason for coming. Duan Lingtian didn't hide it either, because Bibo Tianfu will definitely help him find Yun Qingyan in the future. For this matter, I asked some of my casual cultivator friends to help me find it. Xiao Tianxi said it was rare for Duan Lingtian to use him for something. He was naturally duty-bound. After all, Duan Lingtian in the past gave him enough face. The ancestor of their Bibo Tianfu, after stepping into the 7th level of Xian, in front of all the senior officials of Bibo Tianfu, bluntly said that he was able to take the most critical step, all thanks to Xiao Tianxi. After all, it was Duan Lingtian who was contacted by Xiao Tianxi. Duan Lingtian gave him Xiao Tianxi's face so that the other party could be the first to enter the Tongtian Tower and receive the benefits of heaven. Good. Under Xiao Tianxi's arrangement, Duan Lingshan's legal avatar, which looks no different from the deity, also stayed in Bibo Tianfu, waiting for the good news from outside. He believes that with Meng Han's current strength, it is impossible for the saint forces anywhere outside the world to deny him face. What's more, Meng Han will promise benefits. Meng Han's favor is enough to make those saint forces go crazy. And in fact, it is true. In the next period of time, Meng Han personally traveled all over the major saint powers outside the world, and the major powers quickly took action, mobilizing a group of powerful people to secretly investigate the clues of the Yun Xinfeng. It can be said that as long as Yun Qingjian's pseudonym Yun Xinfeng is outside the boundary, as long as he does not change his appearance on purpose, it is only a matter of time before he is found out. Of course, Duan Lingshan's true self was not idle when Meng Han in the outer boundary started to move. After saying hello to Zhang Shan, the deity went out in person and asked Zhang Shan to take him to the great powers of the upper 3 realms. Let the people of these forces also check themselves in their own domain to see if Yun Xinfeng has left footprints in their domain. Wherever Duan Lingtian went, the forces of Jesuin in the upper three realms, no matter whether there were Jesuin or those without Jesuin, they all treated them respectfully. Some strong men from some forces couldn't help but change their expressions when they saw Duan Lingtian coming to the door. They are all worried that what Duan Lingtian did in Mingguang realm Qinghang Shengzong will do it again in their forces. It wasn't until Duan Lingtian explained his purpose that they breathed a sigh of relief. Even after listening to Duan Lingshan's promise, their eyes lit up. As long as you find someone, keep an eye on them until I make it to the scene. I, Duan Lingtian, owe you a favor, but if Duan Lingtian can do what I can, I will never refuse. The favor of an existence beyond the realm. How can this not make them heartbroken? Suddenly, they all moved. In addition to the upper three realms, Duan Lingtian also visited the other 17 realms out of the 18 middle realms and greeted the bamboo Jesuin who was in charge of all circles. As for Jesuin, because he was afraid of Lei Hong's attack on Jesuin from the 17th realm had already left to take refuge. All the semi-saints almost patted their chests to promise that they would do their best to check their own realms, and as soon as they found the whereabouts of the target, they would contact Duan Lingtian as soon as possible. After finishing all this, Duan Lingtian went back to Nishan realm to wait for news. This time, he can be said to have laid a network against Yun Qingyan. Duan Lingtian made such a big noise. Even though those people kept a low profile, it still reached Lei Hong's ears. Lei Hong still stays in Mingguang realm. He received a summons from a junior brother of the Qinghang sacred sect, who told him that Duan Lingtian was looking for someone and made a big promise. Of course, Duan Lingtian did not go to the Qinghang sacred sect. The reason why the other party knew about this was entirely from his own friend. His friend was the most powerful person in another world respect force in the Mingguang realm. Yun Xinfeng. During this period, Ling Tian is looking for the other party with such a great fanfare. Could it be that the other party has some big secret? Lei Hong couldn't bear to think too much. Now, like Duan Lingtian, he has stepped into the existence of the 7th level Xian. Letting them exist at this level, looking for a person with great fanfare, shows that the other party is definitely not simple. Either it is a deadly enemy, or there is something worth seeking. It seems that I have to go to the god-defying realm ahead of time. Lei Hong's eyes flashed, and he muttered to himself. He wanted to figure this out. If that person has any interest to seek, he might as well try to cut off Duan Lingtian. Chapter 46:14. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. The land left by the gods. In a canyon, two figures were surrounded by a group of people. Both of them were injured, their breath was a little weak, and it seemed that there was no way out. Hand over the things and give you a whole corpse. Among the group of people surrounding the two, a middle-aged man who was obviously the leader stepped out of the air, staring coldly at the two veiled women in front of him, and said coldly. He didn't expect that after spending a lot of effort on his own family and several other forces, they didn't get the treasure. Instead, the two women, Huang Ke, who were practicing casually, took the things away, and almost escaped by the other two. Fortunately, he was lucky and led people to chase the right route and caught up with them. He didn't shoot directly, because the thing is in the holding ring of the other two. Once the two die, the holding ring with self-destruct function will disappear and annihilate with that thing. It's death anyway. Why should we give things to you? One of the women sneered. It's hard to imagine that even if she is in danger of life and death now, even if she has injuries on her body, and it is obviously difficult to resist the group of people in front of her, her eyes are still extremely calm. And the other woman beside her looked calm, but with a bit of helplessness. The two graceful girls both wore veils with little transparency, but based on their exposed half faces, it was not difficult to see that their cheeks under the veils were also very bright. If you don't hand over the things, I will make it impossible for you to survive or die. The middle-aged man's eyes flashed sharply, and he bluntly threatened. Sister Fayer, there's no need to talk nonsense with him. The masked woman with a bit of helplessness in that calm gaze shook her head slightly, then raised her hand to take out a jade slip that was obviously specially made, and crushed it. Why? The other woman couldn't help sighing when she saw this. I didn't expect to ask him for help so soon. We're still two people together. Huaner and Tianwu, who were wandering outside alone, may not have asked him for help now. Almost at the moment when his sigh fell, call, in the void within the encirclement, it was as if a gust of wind had blown by. Immediately afterwards, the space vibrated and twisted for a while, and then a phantom appeared, which gradually solidified and turned into a substantial figure. How is it? Is it fun outside during this time? The figure that appeared was a purple figure, a tall young man with a handsome appearance, sword eyebrows, and star eyes. After he appeared, even though he was in the encirclement, he still had calm eyes, as if he completely ignored the group of people who were staring at him, and looked at the two women beside him, and asked with a smile, "I was careless this time, and being a sorrel didn't work." One of the women, with some helplessness, took off the veil on her face, revealing a peerless face, and said with a wry smile, while looking at the young man in purple with tenderness, "Brother Tian." The other woman also took off her veil, revealing the same dizzyingly beautiful face. This face, once revealed without the veil, seemed to make everything around her pale in color. And this scene also made the middle-aged man headed by the group of onlookers frown uncontrollably. What a beautiful woman! However, now he has no time to watch these things. His eyes fell on the mysterious purple-clothed youth, and he cupped his hands and asked, "Your Excellency, you..." However, before he finished speaking, the void around him was already distorted, and then violently shook, and then his whole body was blown to pieces by the gust of wind like paper swaying in the wind. This weird scene also made the expressions of the remaining group of people change. They even had time to raise the idea of escape, but before they took action, they saw a terrifying space storm, like a stormy sea, sweeping away in all directions with the young man in purple at the center. When this space storm passed by the two girls beside the young man in purple, it was like a ray of light passing by them, without any real impact on them. Then, when he rolled towards the surrounding people, he ruthlessly strangled them all. In an instant, the spacious canyon was filled with a pungent smell of blood. The young man in purple frowned, raised his hand casually, and disappeared in place with the second daughter. Appeared again, already outside the canyon. "How is it? Do you want to continue to practice outside?" The young man in purple is none other than Duan Lingtian. As for the two women beside him, they are his wife Kier and Li Fei. The last time the four girls around him chose to leave his side and go out to practice, Huaner and Feng Tianwu chose to go alone, while Kier and Li Fei chose to go together. "Of course, continue," Li Fei said with bright eyes. "Outside, it's still very interesting. Anyway, the land of the gods is a small world inside your body. You can show up at any time, and we don't have to worry about any danger. Brother Tian, Sister Feier, and I will go outside for a while, and then we will go back to accompany you." Kier's pretty face was smiling like a flower, bright and moving. "All right." Duan Lingtian smiled and nodded. "Look back. If you miss me, you can also call me to show up. You don't have to wait until you are in danger to come to me." "Good," Kerr responded. Li Fei shook her head. "No. Before we separated from Huaner and Tianwu, we made a bet with Huaner and Tianwu. After we agreed to go back later, whoever came to you for help would be the most likely." "What are you betting on?" Duan Lingtian smiled helplessly. "These four girls, are there such little tricks behind their backs?" "He knows nothing. I won't tell you." Li Fei smiled mysteriously, with a playful look, just like when he was with Li Fei in the secular plane in the past, and Duan Lingtian's thoughts returned to that time in an instant. Time flies. So many years have passed in a blink of an eye. At that time, it was the startup period, every step of the way, and the situation was difficult. But now, the air is filled with the taste of whatever you want. "Then I'm leaving now?" Duan Lingtian asked with a smile. Originally thought that the two daughters would keep him for a while, but they didn't expect that they were having a good time and wished that he would leave. Of course, he also knew, mainly because they could see him anytime. Unlike before, it was hard to imagine. What's more, they are waiting hard for him to return from outside. Not long after separating from the second daughter, Duan Lingtian received a message from Xiao Mubai. After reading it, he couldn't help but frown. One dead and one missing? Xiao Mubai told him in the subpoena that one of the two superpowers guarding one of the normal gates of Nishan realm was killed and the other disappeared. The opponent's movements were extremely fast and neat, and it was already too late when Xiao Mubai arrived. Chapter 46:15. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang took a walk together after receiving the summons. Through the traces on the body of the dead, the two quickly determined. The person who made the shot was an existence whose cultivation level was at the same level as theirs. But now, in this piece of heaven and earth, except for some powerful creatures in the mysterious land shrouded in fog and some special planes, in the existence of the strongest 7th-level existence announced by the Tao of Heaven, besides them, there are only two other people. Menghan, it is definitely impossible to do such a thing, and he has no motive. Then, there is only one possibility. Region? It's Lei Hong. Xiao Mubai's complexion darkened. His eyes flickered coldly. He didn't expect the other party to be so bold, rushing to this portal of Nishan realm to kill people. Originally, he also thought that Lei Hong might come to Nishan realm to make a fuss and take revenge on Duan Lingtian. But I didn't expect that the other party was so cautious and only chose to sneak attack. At the same time, Xiao Mubai was also a little powerless deep in his heart, feeling that even if an existence like Lei Hong faced the opponent directly, he would not be able to do anything to him and would be killed by the opponent instead. At this moment, he made up his mind, and then he will retreat and attack the realm of the world. With his background, plus the last time he listened to Duan Lingtian and Feng Qingyang give lectures, and asked them a lot of questions about the four ways of heaven and earth in private, he is only a step away from the realm of respect. However, because of the presence of Duan Lingtian and Zhang Shan, who is Jesuan, he has not been in a hurry to break through. Of course, the main reason is that I was worried that the people of the Zhang family would not get used to coming to the God-defying realm recently, so I spent so much time taking care of them that I didn't have much time to retreat. The pattern is too small. Feng Qingyang shook his head. Those two people, although they are people against the God realm, they have no close relationship with you, Xiaotian. Lei Hong, what's the point of killing them? Duan Lingtian at the side shook his head at this moment, Master. I think the other person should not be dead for the time being. 9 times out of 10, Lei Hong did this to understand everything about me better, so that he can take revenge on me later. Even if another Xian was killed by Lei Hong without leaving any traces, it is impossible to dissipate all the breath in a short time. Duan Lingtian can confirm that only one person died at the scene not long ago. Because of this, he guessed that Lei Hong had kidnapped another person and wanted to torture him for information about him. Before taking revenge on him, you must first understand him. Just as Duan Lingtian thought. It was Lei Hong who abducted the missing strongest man from the God-defying realm. As for the purpose, one is to understand Duan Lingtian, and the other is to ask the other party if he knows Duan Lingshan's purpose in looking for the person named Yun Xinfeng. The most powerful person in the God-defying realm who was taken away saw his old friend who was on duty with him killed with his own eyes, and his face turned pale with fright. After confirming the identity of the kidnapper, he was in despair. Region. It turned out to be him? Lei Hong. Of course he knows who it is. He is a super strong man in the Mingguang realm of the upper 3 realms. A few years ago, he stepped into the extreme 7th level and became the 4th existence after the history cut off. As for Lei Hong's attack on him, it's not difficult for him to guess. It must be because Duan Lingtian from the Nishan realm went to the Bright Light realm to kill the 2 powerful men of the sect behind Lei Hong. He had heard that one of the 2 powerhouses who fell from Lei Hong's sect was still a world-venerable powerhouse. So, he knew. He was done. It was also because of this that he had the will to die. No matter what Lei Hong asked him, he didn't answer Lei Hong, because he knew that he would die. So why should he cooperate with the other party? If it wasn't for the power in his body being forcibly suppressed by Lei Hong, he would have chosen to commit suicide a long time ago. I don't believe your mouth can be so hard all the time. In Lei Hong's hands, there is no such soul-searching secret method that Duan Lingtian got from Wukong's memory that can target the strongest, but he still has the soul-refining secret method. Next, He began to torment the strongest person in the God against God realm. At first, the opponent could hold on, but with the passage of time, he couldn't hold it anymore. He couldn't hold his tongue any longer, so he could only express his willingness to cooperate with Lei Hong, and only hope that Lei Hong would give him a happy ending afterwards. Isn't it enough to do this earlier? What a cheap bone. Lei Hong disdains. And then, Lei Hong also learned some information about Duan Lingtian from the other party. Even the information about Yuan Xinfeng that he wants to know the most right now, he got it. Duan Lingtian's wife is the daughter of the Xia family, the land left by the gods. Yuan Xinfeng, formerly known as Yuan Qingyin, used to be the young master of the Yuan family, who was left by the gods, and Duan Lingtian was a sworn enemy. He was expelled from the house by the Yuan family many years ago, and merged with the remnant souls of the Hun clan. Freshman, renamed Yuan Xinfeng. Lei Hong was a little disappointed. I thought that there was some amazing secret hidden behind Yuan Xinfeng, but I didn't expect that it was just a simple revenge. Just because Yuan Xinfeng caused Duan Lingtian's wife, Xianing Xue, daughter of the Xia family, to be imprisoned for many years. Duan Lingtian, in the Nishan realm, is actually only connected with one faction of his wife's family? He doesn't have a sect or a family? Lei Hong frowned. In other words, if he wanted to take revenge on Duan Lingtian, he could only get revenge on Duan Lingtian from the Xia family, which is a sacred place in the Nishan realm. As for killing other people, Duan Lingtian may not be upset. Of course, if he could kill those half-step world venerables from the Nishan realm, that would be fine. He didn't believe that Duan Lingtian didn't care about those upper-level powerhouses from the Nishan realm. It's a pity. I don't know where Yuan Xinfeng is. Otherwise, you can. Wrong. Duan Lingtian can ask someone to find Yuan Xinfeng. So can I. If I can find that Yuan Xinfeng first, let him follow me, and make Duan Lingtian helpless to him. Wouldn't Duan Lingtian be off? Ha 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 ha. Thinking of this, Lei Hong raised his hand and killed the most powerful person in front of him, and then went to the outside world, wandering around at the fastest speed. When he left the land outside the realm and returned to the Mingguang realm, everywhere in the outside world, a piece of news has spread and fermented at an extremely fast speed. Duan Lingtian, the strong man of the Nishan realm, wants to find out the enemy who used to be in the gods' remains of the Nishan realm in the 10,000 realms and beyond, and change his name to Yuan Xinfeng's Yuan Qingyin. Lei Hong, a strong man in the Mingguang realm, deliberately targeted Duan Lingtian and said that if he has the opportunity to meet Yuan Qingyin, he will try his best to keep Yuan Qingyin safe. As soon as these news spread, Meng Han, the patriarch of Bibo Tianfu, changed his face instantly when he received the news. He didn't expect that it didn't take long for him to let someone secretly search for Yuan Qingyin in a low-key manner, and someone immediately exposed this matter. Moreover, it was obviously Lei Hong's handwriting. Chapter 46:16. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. If it's just a group of powerful people from the myriad realms and the outer boundaries, making unannounced visits to find Yuan Qingyian's trace, Yuan Qingyin may not know about it before he is discovered. But as this matter spread in the outside world, as long as Yuan Qingyin was in the outside world, it would be impossible for him not to know. Unless he happened to be in the closed door and didn't know what happened outside. Brother Duan Lingtian. Meng Han hurriedly found Duan Lingtian's legal avatar in Bibo Tianfu and told him about the rumors that had spread outside. Lei Hong intervened in this matter. His intention of doing this is obviously not to let you find the other party. Obviously trying to scare the snake on purpose. After hearing what Meng Han said, even if it was just Duan Lingtian's clone of a law, his complexion was frighteningly gloomy. Region? This was something he never expected. As for why Lei Hong did such a thing, it must have something to do with the strongest man who was kidnapped by him. Lei Hong must have learned some details about him from the other party's mouth, and also learned about the hatred between Yuan Qingyin, who was renamed Yuan Xinfeng, whom he was looking for, and him. The most important thing is that Lei Hong knew that he was working hard to find Yuan Qingyin, Duan Lingtian's time law avatar. After leaving the land outside the boundary, returned across the boundary, and returned to the body of the deity, Duan Lingtian's eyes burst out with a cold luster in an instant. Region, it's best not to let me stare at your real body, otherwise you will definitely die. He knew very well in his heart that as long as Yun Qingyin found out that he was looking for him wantonly, he would definitely hide. If I want to find Yun Qingyin later, I'm afraid it will be more difficult than climbing to the sky. In a few days, Duan Lingtian received the news that whether it was the upper 3 realms or the major realms of the middle 18 realms, the news that he wanted to hunt down and kill Yun Qingyin began to spread widely. There was even news that Lei Hong wanted to protect Yun Qingyin. At this time, the circles of the strongest in the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms were also stirred up because of the widespread of these news. Lei Hong, this is to completely tear Duan Lingtian apart. I actually think that when Duan Lingtian killed Qinghong Shengzong Jiezuan in the Mingguang realm, even if this hatred is completely forged, it will never end. The person Duan Lingtian wanted to search and kill, Lei Hong, threatened to keep him. If these two meet in the future, a life-and-death battle will inevitably be inevitable. Now, there are only 4 people in the 7th level Xian announced by the Heavenly Tao. The 2 of them stood on opposite sides. Apart from being horrified, they were also very curious. If these 2 people really faced each other in the future, who would win and who would lose in a life-and-death confrontation? Is it Duan Lingtian, a rising star in the Nishan realm, or Lei Hong, a veteran and strong man in the Mingguang realm? Many people are even more eager for the 2 to confront each other immediately and have a showdown to the death. Lei Hong, who had finished spreading the news, returned to the Mingguang realm again. With a cold smile on his face, Duan Lingtian, since you choose to be my enemy, Lei Hong, you must be prepared to be targeted by my Lei Hong. Snort. If it wasn't for the existence of another 7th level Xian in your Nishan realm, I would go to Nishan realm and have a good arm wrestle with you to see if your strength is as strong as your character. From Lei Hong's point of view, if Duan Lingtian can still find Yun Qingyin after he disrupted the situation like this, then he really has seen a ghost. Because of this, he guessed that Duan Lingtian must be unhappy now, and he was very happy. The outer worlds. In the depths of a swamp, a light and shadow flitted across the sky in the distance, and came here in a blink of an eye, lurking in the dark. Whoosh, whoosh. Not long after, in the void above, 2 figures passed by hand in hand, with spiritual consciousness covering the surroundings, as if they were probing for something. After sweeping through with his spiritual sense, he didn't notice anything strange in the depths of the swamp and gradually drifted away. At this time, a figure slowly walked out from the depths of the swamp. Almost fell. This is a young man with a thin figure and a somewhat gloomy face. After wiping the blood stains from the corner of his mouth with his hand, his eyes were cold and his face was gloomy. He, none other than Yun Qingyin, who changed his name to Yun Xinfeng. On the same day, when he saw the text of the Tao of Heaven, announcing that Duan Lingtian had stepped into the 7th level of the strongest and became an existence beyond saints and world venerables, he was shocked and full of jealousy. However, later, he comforted himself psychologically that it must be someone with the same name and surname. However, he couldn't help but confirm it in the end. The result of the confirmation was actually that Duan Lingtian. It was really the Duan Lingtian he knew. He wished he could kill Duan Lingtian soon after. At that moment, he felt that the thing he regretted the most in his life was that he didn't kill Duan Lingtian when Duan Lingtian was so oppressed that he couldn't lift his head in the secular plane. At that time, it was so easy for him to kill Duan Lingtian. He could even kill Duan Lingtian with a single breath. It's a pity, because at that time his cousin's reincarnation desperately protected Duan Lingtian, and he didn't pay much attention to Duan Lingtian, so he didn't kill Duan Lingtian. He never thought that the ants in his eyes would catch up with him one day and even surpass him by far. If I had known earlier, I should have killed Duan Lingtian recklessly back then. This time, he just knew that Duan Lingtian was making people look for him. What's more, he was almost killed by those 2 powerhouses just now. Those 2 people are his acquaintances in the outside world, and they have done a lot of big business with them, but they didn't expect that when they received the news, they learned that the Xian number 1 from Bibo Tianfu Meng Han, the 7th-rank powerhouse, was looking for him, and after promising great benefits, he chose to join forces to deal with him. He intends to capture him and send him to Bibo Tianfu in exchange for Meng Han's favor. Fortunately, before the 2 were ready to attack, at the critical moment, he heard the news that Duan Lingtian was looking for him, and the news that Lei Hong wanted to protect him, so he became vigilant. It was also because he became vigilant that when the two men attacked him, he was prepared and escaped smoothly. Otherwise, I am afraid that they have been held hostage by two people who were seriously injured and are on the way to Bibo Tianfu. Duan Lingtian. Want to kill me? It's not that easy. After avoiding the pursuit of those two people, Yun Xinfeng decided to temporarily leave the land outside the boundary, hide in the 10,000 realm, find a small realm to temporarily settle down, and avoid the limelight. As for the upper 3 realms and the middle 18 realms, he didn't dare to mess around. Those realms have a large array of guardians, and they can be sensed and discovered at the first time if there is an intrusion by the strongest. But then Lei Hong, isn't the strong man in the Mingguang realm, one of the 3 realms in the 10,000 realms, also the existence of the 7th level Xian, threatened to help me? He has a grudge against Duan Lingtian? Chapter 46:17. Update the latest chapter as soon as possible. Back in 10,000 realms, after finding a small realm to hibernate, Yun Xinfeng didn't stay idle and went out with the clone of law, wearing a bamboo hat to cover his dull eyes, so that people could not see that it was the clone of law. The law avatar went out to investigate, and he also learned about the grievances between Duan Lingtian and Lei Hong. Duan Lingtian destroyed Lei Hong's avatar of a law in the Feathering Realm. Afterwards, go to the forces behind Lei Hong, Qinghang Shangzong of Mingguang Realm, intending to join hands with his master Feng Qingyang to destroy Lei Hong himself. Lei Hong avoided it first, but he still killed the current suzerain of the Qinghang Sacred Sect, as well as a Jesuan of the Qinghang Sacred Sect. Now, he finally understood why Lei Hong released the news to help him. It turns out that there is such an enmity between Lei Hong and Duan Lingtian. It's a pity. There's no way to blatantly seek refuge with that master Lei Hong. Otherwise, with his protection, it would be difficult for Duan Lingtian to kill me. Although Yun Xinfeng felt it was a pity, he also knew that he could not take the risk of contacting Lei Hong. If he made a wrong step, it might be a catastrophe. Now, there must be more people wanting to curry favor with Duan Lingtian. After all, Duan Lingtian is a rising star, younger, and has greater potential in the future. He has stepped into the 7th level of Xian, and he did not rely on the Tian Dao talisman. In addition, Duan Lingshan's master, Feng Qingyang, is another strongest 7th level existence in the Nishan realm. The wind is blowing. Thinking of Feng Qingyang, Yun Xinfeng felt depressed again. Back then when he was Yun Qingyin, the young master of the Yun family, although he didn't kill Duan Lingtian because he was concerned about his cousin Xian Yingxue, he also sent someone to kill Feng Qingyang. But unexpectedly, the old beast missed. Otherwise, how could it be such a situation now? Who would have thought that the two who were like ants in his eyes in the past would become the most powerful existences in the god-defying realm today? You don't even need to do it yourself, just a word, in the Yun family. The place where the gods left him in the past can be wiped out. The two Xians who had turned against Yun Xinfeng tracked them down for a while, and after confirming that Yun Xinfeng had escaped, disappointed, they still took a trip to Bibo Tianfu. Informed Bibo Tianfu of some information about Yun Xinfeng that they knew. It also includes several footholds in the 3 caves of the rabbit in Yunxin Peak. However, on Bibo Tianfu's side, even if they sent a half-sage to follow up, after a period of time, they still found nothing. Obviously, it is unlikely that Yun Xinfeng will appear in these places again. The thread is broken. However, after the incident, Meng Han still took a trip to the Nishan realm and informed Duan Lingtian. After Duan Lingtian found out, he was not surprised. When he knew that Lei Hong was spreading the news that he was going to hunt down and kill Yun Xinfeng, he knew that unless someone first pinpointed Yun Xinfeng's existence, or even captured him, otherwise he would have to fight against Bai Ding if he wanted to find Yun Xinfeng. God is still difficult. We can only talk about it later. In the memory of the old man Wukong, there is a secret method of bloodline tracing that can only be performed by the strong 9th level powerhouse. It can use the blood essence of a person's blood relatives within 3 generations to trace and lock that person's whereabouts across borders. Because of this, although Duan Lingtian was angry at Lei Hong's behavior, he was not too upset. As long as he steps into the 9th level of Xian, He can cast that secret method and trace back and lock Yun Qingjian's position across boundaries. A few days ago, he took a trip to Yun's house and took away a few drops of blood from Yun Qingjian's blood relatives who were still alive and stored them for later use. Now, finding Yun Qingyan is only a matter of time. He is not in a hurry. Boom. On this day, in Nishan realm, there was a sudden violent vibration and roar, resounding in all directions. The creatures on all the planes of the gods can clearly hear a loud noise. At the same time, in one direction of the Nishan realm, colorful rays of light appeared, dazzling and eye-catching. What is that? A vision from the sky. Could it be that there is a treasure born there? The birth of a treasure? I think it looks like a breakthrough by a strong man. I have read an ancient book, and this scene is somewhat similar to the above record. It is about the vision of someone breaking through and stepping into the world. All over the Nishan realm, eyes fell on the place where the rays of light appeared, and all of them were attracted to them. Before this, Duan Lingtian, who was in a courtyard of the Xia family mansion, had already sensed the movement there, immediately rose from the sky, looked over there, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Lord Xiao finally made a breakthrough. Even if the distance is far away, he can still be sure that this is the breakthrough of the World Master Xiao Mubai. With the background of World Master Xiao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable this time, his strength is probably not weaker than that of Zhang Shan. Duan Lingtian secretly thought. Since he stepped into the 7th level of Xian, besides his family and friends, the most common person is Xiao Mubai, the lord of the god-defying realm. Although he knew that Xiao Mubai kept asking him for advice, it was tantamount to pulling his wool, but he didn't care. After all, when he was in his infancy, the World Master Xiao had given him great help. Say nothing else. It is said that before he left the Nishan realm and stepped into the outer world, the pool of divine Yunquan he got provided him with great help when he just entered the outer world. The grace of dripping water should be repaid by the spring. This has always been Duan Lingshan's code of conduct. After getting along for a period of time, he also knew Xiao Mubai's insider background very well. He knew that although he was the power of many half-step world venerables in the Nishan realm, but in real fights, absolutely no other half-step world venerables could be against him. His opponent. At the same time, a group of figures walked out from various places in the Nishan realm and rushed towards the land of rays of light. They were indeed a group of powerful people from the Nishan realm. Congratulations to World Master Xiao, stepping into the realm of World Venerable. Congratulations, Lord Xiao. Now, not only the other half-step world lords from the Nishan realm have arrived, but even Zhang Shan, an outside world lord, has rushed to the scene with a few half-step world lords from the Zhang family and greeted Xiao Mubai, who had just broken through. Congratulate. After Xiao Mubai broke through, his hands itched unbearably. Seeing Zhang Shan present, Lai Xinqi immediately said, Brother Zhang, I just made a breakthrough and I haven't fully familiarized myself with Xinli yet. You and I have a game to help me get acquainted with the new force. How? Zhang Shan laughed when he heard the words, happy to help. Immediately, the eyes of the half-step world venerables and a group of powerful people around them all brightened up. I think this is the right time. Originally, they just came to congratulate the World Lord Xiao Mubai for his breakthrough, but they didn't expect to have the opportunity to witness the two world venerable powerhouses compete with each other. This is a very rare opportunity for them to observe on the spot. Duan Lingtian received a message from Xiao Mubai at this time, inviting him to host the match between Xiao Mubai and Zhang Shan, so that they can have a hearty battle. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.